Hi, I'm Alice Brown. Welcome to Scrumptious Table. This is a day in my life as a stay-at-home mom of 3 under 3. My youngest usually wakes me up because we're still in the no schedule stage with her. She just eats whenever she wants to. So after feeding her and getting her a clean diaper, it's time to get myself ready. I love that I can put her on the counter in this seat because she loves to watch whatever mom's doing. I don't have a whole lot of time to get ready before my other two wake up, but it feels really nice to get somewhat ready before I start the chaos of the morning. As I'm finishing up my makeup, my other daughters were waking up, so my husband brought them into our bedroom and let them kind of wake up together. And of course, they love kissing their little sister and getting to talk to her in the morning. After hanging out for a little bit together, the only thing on my toddlers' minds is getting something in their belly. So we're off to the kitchen to get breakfast and milk. I'm working on Milky. Yeah, I guess you could play with that paintbrush. Bye-bye, chair. It seems like there's never an end to dishes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a load going before I get breakfast made. For breakfast, my daughters usually have something really easy like oatmeal or fruit and cheese or eggs or something like that. Today we just did yogurt and some fresh blueberries, and they usually end up wanting a snack within 30 minutes or an hour after I've given them breakfast. My husband and I normally have a smoothie in the morning, and so here are 2 easy recipes to try if you like smoothies. I'm going to start with my smoothie. I put in about a cup of frozen blueberries and then measure over that about 12 to 16 ounces of almond milk. Then I add in a handful of spinach, and I never really measure, but I think it's about a cup. Next, I add in a half of an avocado, and I've noticed that it doesn't really add any flavor to it, but it adds a lot of creaminess. Then for a bit more fiber and protein, about a teaspoon of chia seeds. And since I'm breastfeeding, I add about half a tablespoon of brewer's yeast powder to help with milk production, and then just 2 spoonfuls of stevia powder. Then after I blend that up, it's time to get my husband's smoothie ready, so I'll set that aside and rinse out my blender. Caleb has had this same smoothie for years, ever since I first made it for him, so you know it's good. I put in a couple of frozen bananas and the other half of that avocado. Like I said, it doesn't add any flavor, just a lot of creaminess. And then some milk, a couple of spoonfuls of stevia powder, 1 spoonful of cocoa powder, and then about 3 or 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. Since the weather has started to get a bit more chilly, my husband and I decided to do a fire last night, so we moved the couch over so that we could sit in front of the fireplace, and this morning my first priority is to get all of this ash cleaned up so that my daughters don't get into it, because inevitably they will. I don't want to admit how many times I've thought, I'll clean that up later, and then it takes about 5 minutes for my girls to get in there and get ashes all over themselves. I'm just going to get ahead of it today and make sure it doesn't happen. And then I'm also going to put the leftover wood that we didn't use last night back in the grate for the next time we want to use it. Since I didn't wake up before any of my kids this morning, I'm going to go ahead and let them watch a show so that I can have a few minutes to myself to read the Bible and pray and get this day started right. After my devotions, I am definitely ready for my coffee, so that's next on my agenda. And of course, in the midst of this, my kids wanted another snack, so I went ahead and got that, and my youngest woke up from her first nap, so I'm going to go get her after I finish making my coffee. My youngest is 3 months old now, and so we're kind of in a routine of her eating and then staying awake for a while and then eating again and then taking a nap, and that just repeats over and over again. But today she's just been so grumpy and fussy, so I've given her a lot more time to nap, and it's just taken me a while to figure out why she's grumpy. I think she has some tummy issues today, so I've been giving her some gripe water. Hopefully she will feel better soon. She hasn't had a fever, but she's just been, like I said, really grumpy and sad. So even though today is Wednesday and we would normally go to church, I think I'm going to keep her home tonight and let her rest extra so that hopefully whatever this sickness is will go away more quickly. Postpartum hair still feels like a shock every time I have a baby. My hair is just so healthy and not oily when I'm pregnant, and then when I'm not pregnant anymore, it just goes right back to being so hard to deal with, and I feel like I have to wash my hair all the time to get it not to be oily. When I was pregnant, I could get away with washing my hair twice a week, and now it feels like I have to wash it every day, otherwise I'm dealing with oily hair. And that's not even mentioning the postpartum hair loss. It feels like I'm losing chunks of hair every time I brush it. For all the other moms out there, what do you feel like was just a total shock the first time you had a baby? I'd love to read those in the comments. It's really important while breastfeeding to stay hydrated, so I added some lemon juice and salt to my water for electrolytes. And now it's time to start working on lunch. I've been trying to stay away from gluten, so for myself, I am making stuffed pepper soup, which is one of my favorite fall soups to make. And since my husband doesn't like soup, I'm going to make a sandwich for him, and my toddlers will go ahead and eat a sandwich as well because they do not like my stuffed pepper soup either. But this soup will last me all week long, and I'll be able to just reheat it every day for myself. So that makes things a lot easier for me when I meal prep. I have shared this recipe a couple of times before, but if you're interested in the full recipe, I will leave a link in the description so that you can find it easily. a zucchini that I needed to use up, so I added that to this soup, and I think it turned out really well, and it added a little bit more bulk to this soup. The next thing I'm going to do is let my daughter sit in her swing while I clean up my room a little bit and change out the sheets. Maddie loves hanging out with me even when I am doing something that she can't really help with. She loves to watch and just play around me while I am working. And Izzy, my middle girl, loves her daddy more than anybody else and would much rather spend time with him. I have tried and failed many times to get my kids to nap at the same time, but I'm going to go ahead and try again today and let my oldest just do some quiet time out in the living room with some music on. Izzy is in their bedroom sleeping already, and Lydia is in my room sleeping, so I'm going to try for 3 at the same time. I really don't mind if she doesn't take a nap, but I do want her to just rest a little bit and get a bit of a reset. And if she is tired enough, she will go to sleep. So while the house is resting for a little bit, I am going to work on some sewing projects. I have got such a large pile of projects on my desk to do. So I'm trying to just knock out 1 or 2 a day and hopefully get some of these off of the list to do. Here's the plant that Mommy is gonna plant. So I need dirt. What? Is that better? Okay. You want to plant one? I guess I could let you try. But I plant yours. No, Mommy's gonna do this one. And you can do my other one? You can do mine. Dumping it? Okay.
Would it be cash or finance?
After nap time and spending a little bit of time outside, my daughter is definitely ready for me to just hold her constantly. So I'm gonna put on my trusty wrap and let her hang out with me while I make supper. I love wearing my kids for as long as they will let me. These baby wraps are really the best when you've got somebody who's grumpy and you also need to use your hands at the same time. So far at 3 months old, she is still very happy in this. Yeah, that's what Mommy's making. Mommy's gonna have zucchini pizzas. As I said, I am going to be making pizzas tonight, and since I am trying to avoid gluten, I'm going to be having zucchini pizza, which, as you can tell, is just sliced up zucchini with some spices and pizza sauce, topped with cheese and pepperoni, just like a pizza. And I usually cook this at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes until the zucchini is soft and the cheese is golden brown. For my husband and my daughters, I am using these flatbreads. It's such a nice way to make a quick pizza without having to do the dough in advance. Sadly, it is extremely rare for me to make supper with plenty of time before leaving for church, but I think because it's been getting dark so early, I start making supper earlier too, which gave my husband and daughter a little bit of time to work on a Lego build together. After that, it was time for my husband to head to church, and since I'm keeping my youngest daughter home so that she can rest, I decided to just keep Maddie and Izzy home as well so that they wouldn't spread anything to the other babies at church. So to keep myself occupied before the live stream started, I went ahead and made some cookies. These are my favorite cookies to make because they're really so easy and they come together within 15 minutes. Plus, I love chocolate, so it's a win-win. God leads his dear children along. After church, my oldest two went to bed pretty easily, which I'm really thankful for because I expect this to be a very long night with my youngest not feeling well. So I'm going to go ahead and get comfortable for bed so that I can get as much rest as possible. So that's what a day in my life is like with 3 under the age of 3. Usually a lot of chaos, definitely a lot of cuddles, and sometimes a sick one or two. Especially at this time of year when the weather is turning colder and everybody is spreading sickness around. So I'm going to put on all the oils and take all the vitamins and hopefully keep this sickness from spreading to my other 2 babies. Thank you guys for coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.